Hey guys, Des here from GGD, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how you can manipulate and change sounds from the Modern and Massive pack to suit a variety of different songwriting styles and genres. This is going to range from electronic music all the way to more saturated rock tones. Alright, let's get to it. Right, so for this first example I'm going to be playing a track from one of my band's former wrestlers. The track is Purple Morning. Let's take a listen to the whole track, going from the verse into the chorus.
Show your bones to show your thorn. I'm already lying that I never met.
Okay, so I think you get the general idea there. We're not going for a particularly super hi-fi polished kind of sound, but it's somewhere between that and a more vibey rock track. So I'm using a number of different elements here to kind of get us there, but this is mainly dictated by the drum sound. So I'm just going to mute out the vocals and the guitar layers. I'm just going to listen to bass and drums for this section again. So as you can see, there's a number of automation moves here on the drum bus, for example, which kind of pushes on the downbeats of the choruses, as well as a general jump up into the chorus intensity. But it's actually this bus here, which is the trash bus, which I'm using an instance of Decapitator, and I'm actually sending just the shells really. And specifically for this, I've taken the snare room mic from Modern and Massive and separated that from the rest of the close room. The reason I've done this is I'm being particularly aggressive with Decapitator, and I really just want to kind of get the saturation going on in the shells. I just want to play this back, and I'm just going to engage and disengage Decapitator so you can hopefully get an idea of what it is adding. So I think you can kind of hear that it's slightly more aggressive, getting a slightly longer extension on the snare decay as well. And the reason I wasn't just muting that out is that is definitely adding an element of volume and gain to that. Let's just take a listen now to what this would be doing to the cymbals if I were to add it to the close room. So I have this set up. I'm just going to be pushing that in and out so you can get an idea of what we're doing. This can be useful in some circumstances. Generally speaking, you're going to be really pushing a mix in a very grungy direction. Grungy in a sound way, not necessarily in a genre way, but yeah, let's just take a listen to that. So yeah, that's not particularly to my liking. It wasn't really what I needed, but it's definitely a useful thing to be aware of if specifically you wanted to, automate moments during a song to kind of accentuate certain things. So just taking a really quick look here, we're mainly sending the kick to the Decapitator or to the trash bus. It has quite a large effect on the snare sound in particular. So I'm just going to play just the kick, snare, and snare room together. This is especially useful when you have quite a dense mix going on. There's a lot of saturation going on in the bass and in the guitars, and for this track I felt that it needed to have that kind of push. And obviously I think the reality is that the sounds out of Modern Massive very much kind of how you would get them if you went to a recording studio and you didn't want to commit to anything in particular. So, for example, if I had recorded this track with real drums, I may have, added certain elements of saturation during the recording phase, but obviously we don't want to put you in a box necessarily with the sounds that you're getting from the Modern Massive pack. So this really does allow for a great deal of flexibility, which leads me on to the next track we're going to be looking to. So for this next example, we're looking at a track which is very different in a lot of ways stylistically, arrangement, and so on and so forth. So let's just have a quick listen to what we got here.
You breathe in, I breathe out. Somewhere inside, forget your love. Somewhere outside.
So yeah, there you go. That's a very different thing going on. We've got this lo-fi kit, which I'm again using Modern and Massive, and I'll show you how I've kind of come to that point of how those sounds are there. This main pad sound, main synth sound, and then bells to kind of go with that, and then this subby low synth, as well as very affected vocoder-y kind of sounding vocals. So this is actually the writing session of the tracks. I was kind of searching for the right sounds as I was writing the parts, which for this style of music is kind of quite important. It's not necessarily just the progression, but it's everything that kind of comes with that, and the mix aesthetic and the different sounds that you're using kind of can lead you in different directions. So this track specifically started with this sound here, and kind of slowly built it up from there. And when I started trying to find the right drum beat or the drum arrangement, it was kind of finding the right drum sound alongside that at the same time. So I'm using quite a lot of reverb here from East-West Quantum Leap Spaces. Basically, without this element of the drum sound, I kind of feel like the beat basically doesn't work. I'm just going to play you this section back without the reverb. And it's fine, there's nothing really wrong with it, but that space that the snare decay takes up really kind of helps this track, in my opinion. So as I mentioned, I was kind of writing and mixing and basically doing all parts of the creative process at once with this track, trying to find the right sounds. It's not necessarily like a typical mix template that I would use, and in all honesty, I try to steer clear of using mix templates, especially when writing, because I feel like you end up going down the same kind of roads each time, especially when it's not necessarily conducive to creativity. So let's just take a look at what's going on the drum bus specifically. And we have quite broad and heavy strokes going on here to change the sound from Modern Massive to kind of fit what I was doing. So let's just take a listen to the drums by themselves. Now I'm just going to disengage all the plugins. So we're adding saturation here with the capitator. So I would say the two main things that are going on here, obviously there's quite a large high cut going on around here, which is taking out a lot of the hi-fi aspect of these samples. And then lastly, kind of this exaggerated compression, specifically from the FG Bomber. And adding a little more low end here with the air. So obviously, just from this alone, on the drum bus itself, a huge difference is happening between what's coming out of Modern Massive and just the three plugins. Pretty quick moves, just adding quite a lot of saturation, but dialing it back in the mix. Taking out a bunch of the high end, as well as this kind of boxiness going on over here. And then compressing it in what I would say is maybe a less traditional kind of manner. than you would expect potentially for this kind of thing. So again, let's just listen to this in context. I'm going to be disengaging the plugins on the drum bus as well as muting out the reverb, and hopefully you'll kind of see why I chose to do the things that I've done on this track.
You breathe in, I breathe out. Somewhere inside, forget your.
So there you have it. That kind of is a broad overview of how you can change the sounds quite dramatically, and specifically from more of a macro point of view. As you saw in that video, I didn't really look at any of the individual channels that much, but rather broad strokes that can change the sounds quite dramatically using, in these examples, saturation, distortion, reverb, and exaggerated amounts of compression. So get creating. If you have any other questions, leave them in the comments below and we'll try and get to it. Thanks very much. We'll see you soon.